When injustice meets the law, a shocking courtroom twist. From the moment Olivia Carter stepped into the courthouse, a storm of silent judgment swirled around her. The whispers, the smirks, the veiled hostility. It was all too familiar. But nothing could prepare the courtroom for the truth she carried within her. Two officers, Robert Mills and Eric Tanner, sat at the plaintiff's table, their confidence unwavering, their expressions smug. Across from them, Judge Alan Graves, known for siding with law enforcement, cleared his throat as he prepared to address the case. Yet, none of them knew that Olivia was hiding a game-changing secret, one that would shake the very foundation of the court. An unjust stop that changed everything. Olivia Carter's day had started like any other. She had woken early, prepared for another demanding schedule at the U.S. Attorney's office, and made her usual cup of coffee before heading out. As an assistant U.S. attorney, her days were packed with high-profile cases, motions to file, and legal strategies to craft. But today would not go as planned. A last-minute case had required her to drive instead of taking the subway, and as she carefully navigated through the morning rush, the sudden blare of police sirens behind her made her heart skip a beat. She knew she had done nothing wrong, yet years of experience and exposure to racial profiling cases made her wary. She signaled and pulled over as instructed. As the two officers approached her vehicle, she remained calm. Officer Mills, the taller of the two, demanded her license and registration in a clipped tone, offering no reason for the stop. Olivia complied, passing over her documents without hesitation, but when she politely asked why she had been pulled over, her question was met with an irritated glare. "You were speeding," Mills finally answered. Olivia knew she had not been speeding. The streets had been congested, and she had been mindful of the limit. She suspected this was a pretext for something else entirely, but she also knew that challenging them too strongly could escalate the situation into something dangerous. "Officer, I believe I was within the speed limit," she responded steadily. "Is there any possibility your radar caught another car?" Officer Tanner scoffed, leaning closer. "Are you questioning our judgment?" he asked, his smirk barely concealed. A familiar sinking feeling settled in Olivia's stomach. She had spent her career fighting cases where law enforcement abused their power, and now she was living one of those cases firsthand. A violation of rights. Then came the order that made her pulse spike. "Step out of the car," Mills instructed, reaching for her door handle. "We need to conduct a quick search." Olivia inhaled deeply, keeping her voice calm but firm. "Officer, do you have probable cause for this search?" Tanner's smirk widened. "Are you resisting, ma'am?" It was a trap. Olivia knew the law better than anyone in that moment, and she knew they had no legal grounds to search her vehicle. But if she refused, she could be forcibly removed. If she complied, she was allowing an unconstitutional search. She chose the path of least immediate harm. With clenched fists, she stepped out of her car, standing tall as Mills patted her down while Tanner rifled through her belongings. Pedestrians stopped to watch, some pulling out their phones to record. Humiliation burned through Olivia, but she maintained her composure. Finding nothing, the officers conferred in low voices before finally handing Olivia a citation for speeding, a blatant lie. But before they left, Tanner leaned in one last time. "Better watch that attitude next time," he sneered. Olivia took the ticket in silence, her heart pounding. They thought they had one. They had no idea who they were dealing with. Inside the courtroom, a battle for justice. Olivia Carter had always known that justice wasn't automatic. It had to be fought for. As she sat in the courtroom awaiting her turn to testify, she reflected on how she had gotten here. Her opponent was not just two rogue police officers, but an entire system that had been conditioned to doubt people like her. As she stepped onto the witness stand, every eye in the courtroom was on her. Olivia took a steadying breath and recounted the events of that day with precision, every detail calculated to dismantle the false narrative the officers had constructed. Then came the moment that changed everything. "I am an assistant U.S. attorney," Olivia declared, her voice unwavering. A murmur rippled through the courtroom. The judge's expression shifted ever so slightly, and the smug demeanor of the officers wavered. They had expected to intimidate a powerless woman, not challenge a federal prosecutor who understood the law inside and out. The energy in the room shifted. The judge, once dismissive, suddenly treaded carefully. The prosecutor, once confident, struggled to regain composure. The officers, now exposed, realized they had picked a fight they could not win. Expanding the investigation. The ripple effect. As Olivia's case gained traction, she and her legal team began uncovering deeper issues within the local police department. Officers Mills and Tanner had a history of complaints, claims of racial profiling, excessive force, and misconduct, all conveniently dismissed due to lack of evidence. Working alongside civil rights organizations, Olivia compiled a list of similar cases. Each file was another story of injustice, another life disrupted by abuse of power. Through press coverage, other victims came forward, willing to share their own experiences. This wasn't just about Olivia anymore. It was about systemic corruption. Detective Michael Andrews from Internal Affairs took particular interest in the case. He met with Olivia in private, revealing that he had been investigating complaints against certain precincts but lacked the authority to push for change without concrete evidence. With Olivia's testimony, video footage, and multiple witness statements, the case was now impossible to ignore. A federal civil rights probe was launched. The ripple effect of Olivia's courage reached beyond the courtroom. It spurred a movement. Policies on traffic stops and accountability measures for officers were reevaluated. People who had once been afraid to speak out now had a voice. Lessons learned from Olivia Carter's story. Olivia Carter's story is not just about one woman standing against injustice. It's a testament to resilience, intelligence, and courage in the fight for justice. From her experience, there are several powerful lessons we can take away. 1. Knowing your rights is the best way to protect yourself. Olivia understood the law and her rights, which allowed her to remain calm and challenge the officer's actions in a rational way. In today's world, legal awareness is crucial because it prevents us from being exploited or threatened by those in power. 2. Justice doesn't come easily. You must fight for it. If Olivia had accepted the officer's false accusations and remained silent, her case would have been just another forgotten injustice. But she refused to back down. She fought not only for herself, but for others who have faced similar situations. 3. Have the courage to stand against injustice, even when it's difficult. Olivia could have chosen to stay silent to avoid trouble, but she knew that silence only allows injustice to continue. She was willing to face the challenges and push forward, turning her story into a catalyst for change. 4. One person can challenge an entire system. What started as an isolated incident became a movement for justice. Olivia's courage led to a larger investigation, policy discussions, and a greater awareness of systemic misconduct. One person's determination can inspire many to stand up for what's right. The meaningful message from this story. White heavy checkmark: justice is not given. It must be fought for. White heavy checkmark: no one can take away your legal rights if you know them and stand firm. White heavy checkmark: one person's bravery can inspire an entire community to rise against injustice. White heavy checkmark: your voice matters. Use it to create real change. Personal perspective. This story is a powerful reminder that injustice still exists, but what truly matters is how we respond to it. I believe that if each of us dares to speak up and fight back against wrongdoing, we can gradually build a fairer society. Olivia Carter is not just a hero in a story. She represents ordinary people who refuse to accept oppression. Not everyone is born strong, but through stories like this, I hope we can all find the motivation to stand up for ourselves and for those who cannot. We must remember that justice is not just about personal battles. It's about holding systems accountable and ensuring no one else suffers the same fate. Call to action: follow and subscribe. If you found this story meaningful, don't let it end here. Share it with your friends, family, and community. Olivia Carter's story is more than just an inspiring tale. It's a call to action, a lesson that can change lives. Pushpin, make sure to follow and subscribe to Story Precious to never miss another powerful story. Lightbulb: each story is a spark of truth, and when we share them together, darkness fades away. Rocket Fire.